Welcome to my year in review. I wanted to look back and see how I have progressed as a woodworker. Now I've really honed in on my Inkscape skills, though I still have a ways to go, but have been able to do a lot more intricate designs versus just making names, which I'm really proud of it because it's just self-taught watching tutorials to try and figure out how to do some things. I also played around with gluing pieces together to see what it would look like if two different types of wood were played together. I also played with fire, which was a lot of fun and a little dangerous. Worked on thicker pieces of wood. That was a little tricky with my scroll saw. Continued with my Celtic designs. Really enjoy doing those, plus the meaning behind that. Of course, Maxie Cat has to help. She's always around. I was introduced to the Sankofa bird, which was really neat. Still got a ways to go on playing with the router table, but something that's in my future. I dabbled in furniture making, which was a lot of fun, but a lot of work. I started working on layering my projects. Also wanted to dabble a little bit with painting to see what that would look like. Went into different holidays, and definitely, I love Halloween. Started working on seasonal luminaries as well. I played around with working with wood with live edge pieces to see how I could fit that into my designs. It was really interesting. I also wanted to focus on my camera angles so you guys could see more closely the details it goes into working on the scroll saw. My husband even got in on the action with helping me light things up with his Raspberry Pi. Now, reflecting back, I realized that a significant tool that I have in my shop I'm not using.
You know what that means? It's Latin. It means know thyself.
For the most part, I really did stick to my comfort zone this year. And that's what people do. They find what they're good at and just keep at it. I have worked on the lathe a bit here and there and have done some really neat pieces, but I have not published anything because a lot of the learning process is a little blundery, so I thought I'd show you. Here's one of my first attempts at using the lathe. Now, it took me a bit to figure out the pressure and the angle, and I still have a ways to go. So I'm going to have to YouTube some stuff to really figure out what I'm doing. I had this idea though. I heard that a goal without a plan is just a wish. So what if I made my goal with the plan to publish once a week how I'm learning on the lathe? And maybe that will help me become more proficient at using it. It's been a while since I've done any work on the lathe. I'm still pretty much a lathe newbie. So it took me a bit to remember what I was doing. We'll see if I remember once I get the tool out and get started. I'm making some handles for some measuring cups. So this could be a newbie mistake. It could be a break off, or I could have gouged it. I hope I didn't gouge it. And I'm debating on whether to sand this before I continue, because I'm just going to make handles for these spoons, measuring spoons. So I'm going to cut the material off right here. So I've got quite a bit of wiggle room here. So I may thin this out. Alright, so I tried to smooth this out and made it worse. So I'm not sure this piece can be salvaged. This got really loosey-goosey, so I'm not sure why that happened. Though I just got to remember to tighten these every single time that I do this. I'll see. I'll review the tapes and see what I could have done differently. I have been able to do a few things on the lathe that have turned out pretty well. but don't ask me how. And I think that's the problem. So it's time to get back to the basics and actually learn. So that will be my goal for this year, is to learn what I'm doing.